The alien fleet positioned itself so that each of its warships filled the sky above the last remaining colony on Earth. In the light of their far-off stars, an amazing feat of extraterrestrial engineering shone. They had already destroyed half of humanity's worlds, demolishing colonies with their relentless progress. And now they hovered, assured that this marked the end of a species they had long contemplated, above the last vestiges of humanity's hope. When their scanners detected a single human warship, the alien commanders looked on with hardly concealed glee. Little inconsequential in contrast to their imposing ships, the lead commander sneered, pleased by what seemed to be a defeated species' last act of resistance. They didn't even consider it appropriate that mankind would attempt one final time to prevent the inevitable. The atmosphere aboard the Vengeance, Earth's lone surviving cruiser, was tense. In contrast, the human crew labored in silence, their gloomy looks etched into their faces. Resolute, Captain Elias stood at the helm, his gaze riveted on the extraterrestrial fleet that towered over them, which he had personally witnessed. His thoughts quickly strayed to the colonies these invaders had destroyed, the level of destruction they had caused. They extinguished lives as easily as putting out a light. Elias had lost entire universes, families, and friends. This wasn't simply a fight. Their warship's name, Vengeance, wasn't picked at random. It represented the combined rage of a wounded humanity. Despite humanity's defeat, they were prepared to retaliate with all their might. He tightened his fists and refused to let fear show. He needed to demonstrate that the crew needed to be strong and not question the alien commanders. Seeing from a distance and giggling among themselves, the aliens perceived the Vengeance as a remnant, a final weakness attempt by a species that should have given up long ago. Their scanners easily evaluated the human ship. To them, it was hardly more than a relic, designed with simple weapons and antiquated defenses, a symbolic position. Their navy, however, was the only thing that could potentially prevent their certain victory. Unmatched ships the size of towns, equipped with shields, kinetic missiles, beam cannons, and other advanced weapons that had never been compromised, tore through humanity's defenses with ease. But the Vengeance was different. It was a product of desperation, a vessel carrying more than just another warship. These were the final and most dangerous covert experimental weapons ever developed by humanity. Constructed during the most dire periods of human existence, the sleek surface of the spacecraft concealed a devastating arsenal created to target the exact vulnerabilities the aliens had unintentionally revealed. Ignorant of this, they observed the Vengeance with a detached attitude, as though it were a usual operation. No negotiations were necessary before they declared their ultimate victory over Earth by destroying the remaining human warship. They didn't expect any requests for surrender. To them, humanity was a dying species, holding on to a ridiculous sense of pride. Meanwhile, the crew of the Vengeance readied for what was certain to be their last stand. They had witnessed the alien fleet's power and weaponry, but none of that mattered now. This was about sending a message, not just surviving, conveying the idea that humanity would not die in silence and would fight with all of their might, even in their last hours. Humanity had nothing left to lose, which increased their threat level. Elias looked at his tactical officer. The officer nodded briefly, and the weapon systems remained inactive while they awaited the command to engage. But they needed to wait for the perfect moment. Unaware of the impending devastation, the aliens were well within range as the alien fleet edged closer. Their assurance was evident, and their superior technological capabilities made the battle's outcome seem certain. Despite their cleverness, they were unable to recognize the trap that had been laid for them. The Vengeance was a relic, concealed under deceptive layers of frailty. They had no idea what was coming. As he approached, Captain Elias took a moment to think of the faces of his friends, co-workers, loved ones, and the fallen. His heart hardened by the relentless alien attack. They would have to pay for this. They believed humanity was weak and fragmented. Yet they had no comprehension of what a species could produce out of desperation. On the alien command ship, the commanders observed with the assurance that one volley would destroy everything humanity had left. Their targeting systems locked onto the Vengeance. There are many similar human spacecraft, so why should this one be any different? They thought. When the countdown to fire started, the weapon systems hummed to life, and there was no feeling of panic among the aliens. They had already won, but the humans hadn't yet extended their hand. The Vengeance was not a relic. It was the result of years of covert development in the depths of humanity's darkest hour. Silence fell over the bridge of the Vengeance, broken only by the captain's voice, revealing what was about to be unleashed. "Weapons await my direction," he said, and the crew obeyed his commands without question. This was their chance to strike a blow that could change the course of the conflict. They had all lost something, and now they would demonstrate to the aliens what humanity was really capable of. The alien fleet continued its advance. Their ships were moving forward with a purposeful calm, as though this were just another ordinary operation. The alien commanders looked at the lone human warship, smaller, appearing outdated. Their sense of superiority was fueled by their previous encounters with human vessels, where they had swept through their fortifications with ease, leaving nothing but rubble. This would be no different. With a tone full of scorn, the lead commander issued his commands, not even trying to conceal his disgust for what he perceived as humanity's last, pitiful opposition. They mocked the humans for their weak resistance, and wondered why, when the outcome was already known, humanity bothered to send such a pathetic ship into battle. From the extraterrestrial standpoint, the human vessel wasn't even worth a full attack. It had weak shields, antiquated weapons, and the alien fleet would easily overpower it. The first barrage began. Their energy beams and kinetic rounds converged on the Vengeance, intending to overpower its shields. But instead of disintegrating under the bombardment, the shields held. They absorbed the shock and dispersed the energy with an accuracy the aliens had never anticipated. For a moment, there was silence across the fleet. The commanders stared at their tactical screens, confused. The lead commander shook his head, dismissing the oddity as a fluke. The human shields must have absorbed just enough energy to appear stronger. But they weren't invincible. They prepared to fire again, believing the next volley would break the human ship's defenses. But then the Vengeance fired its first shot. A quantum railgun using technology the aliens couldn't even begin to understand. The shot fired with such precision that it bypassed the alien cruiser's shields and destroyed one of their largest and most powerful ships in an instant. The alien fleet, which had been confident only moments ago, was now in stunned silence. Their proud warship had been obliterated by a ship they had ridiculed as a relic. There were no warnings, no alerts. The humans had struck with such effectiveness that the alien systems failed to detect the turmoil on board until it was too late. The alien fleet, still reeling from the loss of a cruiser, scrambled to regroup. Their tactical displays flashed with alerts as they tried to figure out what had just happened. They had never anticipated that such a small, insignificant ship could destroy one of their own. Desperation began to seep into their ranks. They had thought the human vessel would be an easy target, but it was far more dangerous than they had ever imagined. The commanders, who had previously mocked the Vengeance, were now confronted with the horrifying reality that humanity was far stronger than they had believed. The Vengeance continued its relentless attack, firing quantum projectiles at the remaining alien ships one by one, each shot hitting its mark with unwavering precision. Within minutes, 3 more alien ships were reduced to rubble. The alien commanders were physically and psychologically shaken. They had believed they were invincible, but now they were struggling to comprehend how they had so gravely miscalculated their enemy. Panic spread throughout the alien ranks as their fleet disintegrated before their very eyes. What had started as a simple mission had turned into a frantic attempt to survive. The aliens had underestimated humanity's desperation, and now they were paying the price. Despite their panic, the alien commanders quickly regained their confidence. They still had a numerical edge, and they sent more ships forward, determined to drown the Vengeance in a sea of plasma. The Vengeance stood ready, its shields absorbing the energy with ease. And then, in a move that stunned the aliens, it turned their weapons back on them. The firepower that had been aimed at the Vengeance was now redirected toward the alien fleet, tearing apart their ships in a chain reaction of explosions. The alien fleet was in disarray. Their once perfectly coordinated attack had turned into chaos as their own firepower obliterated their ranks. Panic spread, and the commanders realized they were facing a force far more powerful than they had ever imagined. Humanity had not just survived, they had risen from the ashes with a vengeance. The truth was clear now. Humanity was not the weak, fragmented species the aliens had thought them to be. They were a force to be reckoned with, and the aliens would soon learn just how dangerous a species could become when backed into a corner.